I'll start with a small introduction for any uninitiated players. You get perk points from doing pretty much anything in the game. Mission types are the main point source, but you can also get some from mission warnings and even from purchasing upgrades and cosmetics, among other things. Then you spend your perk points on this perk tree. The arrows indicate how many perks you need to purchase before you're allowed to move on to the next tier. There are chapters on the video's timeline and in the description if you want to skim through, and I'd like to preface really quick that this isn't a rating video. I'm not going to be claiming that any perks are above or below any other perks. Deep Pockets has 3 levels. For each level, you will gain 5 extra storage for every material. Level 3 will allow you to carry a maximum of 55 of any material. This could be particularly useful on Morkite mining missions. It's equally useful if you're just a scout who doesn't like to call the mule when you're 3 rooms behind the rest of the team. Veteran Depositor has 4 levels and multiple buffs. On level 1, you deposit valuables 20% faster and are given an impartial 20% damage resistance when within a 7 meter radius of a deposit spot. On level 4, you deposit valuables 50% faster and are given an impartial 30% damage resistance with the same restriction. Depositing minerals faster can be very nice for casual players. Not always are there calm moments to put in the last 40 nitro for a necessary resupply. But if you want to be a tryhard like I am, there is also a bucket fanning method by spamming E and right click. Anyways, the impartial damage is really nice, but in all honesty, most of the damage you'd be resisting was damage you would have avoided otherwise by not staying within a 7 meter radius. It's especially lackluster in missions like Hearthstones or Morkite geodes because in times of danger, you're pretty much entirely separated from Molly. And with point extract missions, you'd basically just be stuck in a game of Ring Around the Rosy if you want to utilize the damage buff. I'm absolutely certain that there is a way to play this strategically in simpler missions, but just make sure to be mindful because it can get a little annoying for the other teammates if you're just hogging the mule the whole time.
Wait, what? For real?
Sweet Tooth has 3 levels and multiple buffs. On level 1, you get a 10% increase from Red Sugar Healing. On level 3, you get a 30% increase from Red Sugar Healing, as well as a 20% move buff for 10 seconds. This will bring your run speed from 4.35 meters per second to 5.22 meters per second. For reference, 1 red sugar ingestion allows you to run an extra 8.7 meters. Now, just imagine that while playing a mission with the blood sugar modifier. Resupplier has 4 levels and multiple buffs. On level 1, you resupply 20% faster and regain 10% extra health from resupplies. On top of that, upon resupplying, all of your weapons are reloaded. On level 4, you resupply 50% faster and regain 25% extra health from resupplies. And the instant weapon reload upon resupplying is still there. Level 4 makes resupplying only take 2.5 seconds, and in stressful situations that time can absolutely save your life. Not to mention, if you're all out of ammo with a swarm chasing you, getting locked and loaded instantly after resupplying is a godsend. Unstoppable has 4 levels and multiple buffs. On level 1, environmental slowdowns are reduced by 20%. You also move 10% faster while carrying handheld items. On level 4, environmental slowdowns are reduced by 50% and you move 25% faster while carrying handheld items. Here's a list of some environmental slowdowns. This one at the bottom left means the little storms that appear, like in glacial strata, sandblasted corridors, and in magma core. GS plus SC means glacial strata and sandblasted corridors. MC means magma core. And by the way, the snow pile makes you stop sprinting. That's why the numbers seem a little bit off. And keep in mind, some bugs are affected by environmental slows. Maybe instead of being afraid of the massive blue layers and the fungus bugs, you can utilize them. Maybe make conductive bullets even more efficient. And on the topic of handheld items, I suppose it could pose some benefit. However, I don't believe that it provides too much of a benefit to be the call maker for whether or not you use this perk. Most of the time whenever you transport handheld items, you'll likely be throwing them rather than walking the whole time. Vampire has 4 levels. On level 1, you heal 2 HP for every melee kill on a hostile that is medium size or larger. For point of reference, that's like an exploder or anything above that size. For each subsequent level, the healing amount will go up by 1. So level 4 gives you 5 HP per kill. There is no cooldown on this heal, allowing you to get multiple heals for 1 well-timed power slam. This perk works great when enemies are weak to melee attacks, for example, ebonite bugs or frozen bugs. It even works with drillers' throwable axes for whatever reason. Strong Arm has 4 levels and multiple buffs. On level 1, you throw flares 20% farther and handheld items 10% farther. On level 4, you throw flares 50% farther and handheld items 20% farther. On Quark missions, this can be helpful if you need to get in a Quark to the grinder ASAP, and the flares going farther does take a little bit to get used to, though it is nice to have light for a little longer when tossing flares down those long winding tunnels. I also map the distance of flares and handheld items when thrown. I had a sample size of 10 for each test, and you can pause to read the rest of the stats here. Friendly has a single level. It allows you to deal and take 50% less friendly damage. Great for AoE classes and for any trigger happy heavy hitters, but keep in mind, team damage is not the status quo. You should be trying your best no matter what to avoid it as much as possible. Unless it's funny. Elemental Insulation has 3 levels. On level 1, it gives a 20% damage reduction on elemental sources. Each subsequent level gives an extra 5% damage resistance, ending up at 30%. A couple common elemental damage sources are Acid Spitter Gloves and Praetorian Belches. With no perks or upgrades, and discounting the 28's impact damage, an Acid Spitter does 7 acid damage per tick. Using the max perk, it does 5 per tick. With no perks or upgrades, a Praetorian does 14 toxic damage per tick. At max, it does 10 damage per tick. In this match, I tracked how many times I was hit with elemental damage to see how much I would have saved. It turns out I could have saved 62 health points. I should preface that I didn't count shield damage. Also, because I didn't have the perk, I was directly killed by resistible elemental damage 2 times. Second Wind has 4 levels. On level 1, you gain an 8% speed bonus when running uninterrupted for 5 seconds. Level 4 gives you a 12% speed bonus when running uninterrupted for 4 seconds. Normally, run speed is about 4.35 meters per second. With level 1, that goes up to about 4.69 meters per second. And with level 4, you can get up to about 4.87 meters per second. If you run 40 meters uninterrupted in a straight line with the max perk, you'll only be saving about half a second compared to no perk at all. And here's a list of things that can interrupt your running, causing your perk to reset its timer. But to be fair, there are some seriously long naps. After 6 seconds of running with level 4, you run an extra meter that you otherwise wouldn't have. But after 30 seconds of uninterrupted running, if that ever may happen, you would have run an extra 13.5 meters. Born Ready has 3 levels. On level 1, you automatically reload any unequipped weapons and tools after 15 seconds. On level 3, you automatically reload any unequipped weapons and tools after 5 seconds. This perk is super useful for reminding you to use your weapons evenly and to not run out of ammo on one too soon. If you empty your mag, then swap to the other weapon, use that one until it drains, then you're already reloaded with the other weapon. I mainly play RJ250 Engineer. The amount of times I have been haphazardly saved because my platforms were reloaded automatically, allowing me to dampen my fall, is absolutely paramount to any other form of upgrade or perk save. On that same note, having an explosive escape to my problems available every 5 seconds without needing a second thought is a great luxury as Engineer. Do keep in mind that if you're running Minigun Gunner, Drax Scout, or Diffractor Engie, you're only going to be reloading 2 items. And if you're playing Cryo and EPC or Wave Cooker Driller, you're not reloading anything. And there are also a few upgrades that allow some weapons to auto-reload even without the perk. So if you haven't found yourself using those, make sure to weigh the benefits of the perk. And the last thing I thought I'd mention is the fact that there isn't reload buffering. What I mean when I say that is, Born Ready's timer only counts when your weapon has ammo. Your weapons will not auto-reload upon resupplying without the Resupplier perk. It's a Bug Thing has 2 levels. On level 1, loot bugs explode within 2 meters of your dwarf. On level 2, loot bugs explode within 5 meters of your dwarf. That's all. Thorns has 4 levels. Each level gives an extra 6 retaliation damage when hit by an enemy's melee attack, level 4 being 24 retaliation damage. There is a cooldown that doesn't make itself known during single target battles, but is quite jarring when being mauled by a horde. Thankfully though, level 4 one-shots the Navisite floaters and swarmers of all types, so I guess that makes it better. Thanks for watching my rundown of passive perks. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I will try my best to answer any questions. I might do a similar video with active perks sometime, so if you want to see that, let me know and I might make it sooner. And if the wiki wants to use any of the resources that I've compiled here, then by all means, go ahead.